Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. Today I'm in the kitchen and you know it's fall and I'm really wanting to make some fall desserts, and this one I'm starting out with is super easy. Anybody can make it. I'm making a pear and raspberry tart with like a crumb topping, and it's so easy. So I also have lots of other cooking videos coming up. But you're going to need to set your oven to 425 degrees, and with the cooler weather, it's perfect, you know, to start baking and keep your house cozy because it's freezing outside here today and raining. So I'm going to get started. Let's look at the ingredients, and we'll start making us a tart. So here are the ingredients you're going to need. Now, you don't have to pause and write them all down. You can hop right over to my blog at kjaggers.com and you can print out the recipe, and there is a print friendly button, and you won't have to print out all the other stuff. So starting off, this is a pear and raspberry tart. So you're going to need at least 3 pears and 2 cups of either fresh or frozen raspberries. It doesn't matter. I happen to see fresh, they're fine. And I like a little more of a pear flavor, so I'm going to add probably like 5. You're going to need a couple lemons. I like organic because we're going to use the zest. You're also going to need a pie crust. And, you know, you can make your own, which I love making pie crusts and having them in the freezer, but that doesn't always mean I have them. And that doesn't mean I always want to make them. So I'm taking a little bit of help from the store with one of these Pillsbury pre-made pie crusts. There's 2. And I've let it set out and soften a little bit. But on my blog, as I said, there is a recipe for this entire tart, and it does include directions on how to make a pie crust. But I'm taking a little help from the store, and you know, if you're in a hurry to get this done for maybe a church function or a school function or a family function, go ahead and use the pre-made ones. It's not going to hurt anything. You are also going to need a half a cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of packed brown sugar. You're going to need also a half a cup of regular sugar right there. And you're going to need a 1/4 of a cup of cold butter diced up. We'll dice it up in a minute. But it's and a couple tablespoons of cinnamon. So it's a very simple recipe. It won't take any time to make, and it's delicious. The tools that you're going to need is, well, I'm using a tart pan. It has the removable bottom. But you don't have to use this. If you only have a baking dish, use a baking dish. It really doesn't matter whatever you have on hand. You're going to need a good knife to cut up the pears. I have this melon baller to help with the pears. This is also for the pears to peel them. And this little grater is for lemon zest. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is get our pie crust in our tart pan or whatever pie dish you're using. I like the tart pans because of, you know, of the removable bottom. But I am going ahead and using the Pillsbury pre-made pie crust. There's 2 in this box. I've let it sit out to get soft. And I'm just going to take it out of the package. I'm just going to kind of like drape it over. Pre-made pie crusts are so easy. I will be doing a baking series, or well, not a baking series, a freezer series of restocking, you know, your freezer for winter. And pie crust is on that list, but I don't have any in the freezer right now. So all you do is roll it out. I just hold it in my hand. Roll that thing out. There we go. We're going to put it in. And then stretch it among the top. Just get it all up there really pretty. Doesn't have to be perfect, but this gives you a really pretty edge if you're using a fluted tart pan like this one. I don't go for perfection. We're just, you know, having this, you know, we're just having this, you know, in our family for ourselves. And if you find that you want a little more, then, you know, grab some out of your other package and put it around the edges. I'm not really that worried about it. But you do need a crust on the sides to hold all that gooey peach and raspberry filling in. So I am going to get some more out of my other one, I think. Well, we're getting there. Let's see. And remember, clean hands is what makes all the difference whenever you're cooking. You need to use your fingers, and the kids can always help, but make sure in, you know, every season, I was going to say flu season, your hands are really washed, but you're in the kitchen, it should be every season. And we're just working that pie crust around that really fluted edge of the tart pan. Getting there. I don't think I will use another one. This should be just fine. Okay, so we're just going to set that aside. That's perfectly fine. It's pushed in. We'll set that aside. Next, we're going to start peeling our pears. So one thing that I like to do is just have a bowl. We're going to put some water in it. And set it off to the side. We're also going to take one of the lemons that we got, and we're just going to cut it in half and squeeze some of that lemon juice right into the water, because this is going to keep the pears from turning colors whenever you're slicing them up. I am using this very handy juicer, and you don't have to have one of these. You can juice it with your fingers if you want. If you find it hard to juice, just pop it in the microwave. I don't have very strong hands, and these things are a lifesaver for me. That's plenty. And there you go. I'm just going to toss that out. And I'm going to set this aside. Now I'm going to take my pears, and I'm going to start to peel them. So I'm just using a regular peeler and come down the side of the pear and just follow the shape. I think pears are such a wonderful fall, you know, fruit. A lot of people, you know, go to the pumpkins and anything pumpkin and apple. Apple's really big right now, and you could do a pear and apple tart. I've done those before too. But a lot of people forget how delicious pears are in the fall. Don't pass them up. If they're still a little bit hard, you can bring them home and just let them ripen for a couple days. And oh my, I love a good pear. I love it. So we're going to peel our pears. And then all you're going to do, I'm going to cut the bottom off. These little suckers are slippery, but you're just going to take your pear, cut it in half long ways. And then you will see the stem, and if you pull, you will pull all of it out. Look, just like that. And then I'm going to take my trusty melon baller, and I'm going to scoop out the seeds in the middle. Done. Having a trash can right next to you in the kitchen is always handy. So there is the first pear, and all I'm going to do, watch your fingers and let your knuckles guide you. I'm just going to slice it thin. There's the first side, and we're going to put it in that bowl of water right over here. So let's do the rest of them. Next pear. Peel it. they're ripe, they're going to peel real easy like this one. Sometimes I think the riper the better, and a little bruise on one isn't going to hurt it one bit. It's actually probably going to give it more flavor. Now, I know I said sugar, and sugar is great. I love sugar. But you could always substitute it for whatever, you know, Sweet and Low or Splenda or whatever you like to use if you are not eating sugar. Oh, it's a little bit mushy. Just trying to get it out. I like to clean as I go. Again, that trash can is a lifesaver. And I have a really big trash can because we seem to generate more trash than most average families, which I just don't understand, but we do, even with recycling. So, again, with the melon baller, get those seeds out. These work so well. I'm going to cut off the bottom. Let me wipe my hands off. That one is gooey, which would be perfect for the tart. Slice it up. I'm doing this in real time. I'm not going to zip through it like I normally would. Just to show you, you don't have to take long to make a tart. It doesn't take long at all. Into the water. I'm actually going to wipe my board off so it's not so slippery. I like this little raised board because for a long time I had a cutting board next to my sink. And anytime the water would come down onto the counter, it would warp my cutting board. So I got a raised one. I've had this one for quite a while. It looks like it's been to hell and back, but it doesn't really matter. It's clean. I clean it with kosher salt and half of a lemon. So it just looks, you know, like it's old and stained and dirty, but it's not dirty because I clean it every night. Well, every night I use it. And I use it almost every night. Or Scott uses it, or even Jackson. When we go to make a sandwich or something, we're doing it right here on this cutting board instead of on the counter. I do have glass cutting boards over by the stove, but that's for meat and such. Cut off the bottom. Cut it in half. Get the stem out. That one kind of broke, but whatever. Take your melon baller, get out the seeds on each side, and then slice it up. Watch out for your fingers because these are slippery. A good knife will make all the difference. I mean, all of the difference. So, you know, that's something. This is a Cook's Essential that I've had for 2 or 3 years. I keep sharpening it. It's perfect weight for my hand. But you're definitely going to want to find a knife if you don't have one that is, you know, feels good in your hand. Not too heavy, and takes and does a good job for you, because that is one of the main things that people complain about in the kitchen is, you know, how hard it is to get some potatoes peeled or whatever, and that's only because of the knife you're using. So always have a good knife. I have a whole bunch, but I'd say a good paring knife and a good chef's knife, and you'll be good to go. That's all you'll ever really need knife-wise, besides some steak knives if you're eating, you know, steaks tonight. I'm going to go ahead and peel this one real quick. You can feel like the sugary bristles in your hand when you're peeling pears. They have like a coarse sugary feel to them. And I don't take every single, I mean, I try to get them peeled pretty well, but you ain't got to be perfect about it. If you have a little skin on one, it ain't going to, like, hurt nothing. Cut off the bottom. pour out the middle. Pull out the stem. See how it comes out like the membranes right there? Same here. Seeds are out of that one. Seeds are out of that one. One more to go. Okay. I'm going to wipe my hands off. Wipe my board off a little bit. A knife too. Alright. Slice them up. Into the bowl with the lemon juice. We're going to drain them in just 1 second. But it keeps them from turning. I don't like fruit to turn on me. You could use some of that fresh fruit. I think that's what it's called. It's like that, you know, spray or water or whatever. But a little water and lemon juice goes a long way without having to buy any fancy fruit water. I think that's kind of silly, but whatever. Okay, so those are peeled. I'm going to wipe my board off one more time. And then I'm going to drain them because we're going to start making the mixture to put in the pie filling. Let me get them drained. There they are. There's all of our pears. Yum. So we have our pears drained. They're not discolored because of that lemon juice. And the lemon juice isn't going to hurt the flavor in any way. You're going to add a half a cup of sugar to it, or whatever sweetener you like to use. You're also going to use 2 tablespoons of some cornstarch. I'm just using this one. This is to help thicken it up a little bit. 1, 2. And then you're going to use 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I can't have much cinnamon, but this isn't too much. Cinnamon's such a strong herb to me, or spice, not herb, that it just, if I'm not careful, it gives me really bad headaches. And then the reason we got that organic lemon is we're going to zest about a teaspoon of lemon zest into it. So all you want to do is get the yellow. You do not want to get the white. So just keep going around. If you get down to the white, just turn it and go a different direction. That's one reason I like organic lemons whenever I'm using the peel, because you're using the skin and it matters. You don't want all those chemicals that they spray, those pesticides and stuff on the skin of your lemon that you're going to be grating into your food. So always buy organic when you're using the skin of a project, and that even goes for, or for a recipe, that even goes for oranges. If you're using the skin, you definitely don't want one that's been all messed up with pesticides. Alright? And then you're going to add your raspberries. You don't really have to clean raspberries. They already come cleaned. In they go. And then I'm going to toss it with my hands. I have my rings off. Well, I have my engagement ring off. I have my rings off now. And we're just going to toss it. You want to be super careful with the raspberries. They'll melt and get all gooey anyway, but you could add some vanilla, but you really just don't need it. This is just divine on its own. I haven't made one of these in a while. Alright, now we're going to get it into our pie pan, or in this case, our tart pan. There it is. You're not pre-baking the shell or anything, and all you're going to do is fill it up with this mixture. Spread it out evenly. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it looks amazing. Just kind of spreading it out, making sure there's raspberries and pears all over the place. Getting it good. It'll cook down, so don't be too concerned. Definitely need a few more pears in the middle. I like more pear than raspberry, but it doesn't really matter. However you like it. The original recipe calls for 3 pears, but that's just not enough for me. Alright, so let me wipe my hands off one more time. I'm getting a cookie sheet, just a regular old cookie sheet to put this on in case it bubbles over. I set my timer for 25 minutes. So all you're going to do is put this in the oven and let it bake for about 25 minutes. And then we will get ready to make the topping, and you'll bake it about 15 more minutes and you're done. How easy is that? Look at that. Oh my gosh, looks amazing already. Into the oven it goes. It's going to bake at 425 for about 25 minutes. Then we're going to pull it out, put the crumb topping on it, and bake it for another 15-20 minutes. So let's get started on the topping. Okay, so the topping couldn't be easier. I'm using clean hands again. And you're going to need 1/4 cup of cold butter. This is unsalted butter. But if you only have salted, then use salted. Nobody's going to come in and like arrest you for it. And what I like to do is just dice it up in little cubes. So I'm just going to dice it right on that paper so it doesn't get my cutting board really bad. I'm going to cut it in half a couple times. Down. And then and I'm just using another pie plate for it. But you can use a small bowl, whatever you had. This was just like real handy, so I grabbed it. Then you got a half a cup of all-purpose flour. Right in on that butter. Half a cup of packed brown sugar. You can use light or dark. There we go. Light or dark, whatever your preference is. I'm going to use a few sprinklings of cinnamon. Not much. Half teaspoon. Just to give it a little extra flavor. And then you're going to go back and take some more of your organic lemon peel and get it right into that little mix. Again, you don't want to get the white, just the yellow. Okay. A lot of it gets on the back. I either take my finger or hit it. And then I'm going to take clean hands. This time I'm taking my ring off again because I had put it back on. And you're just going to mix that butter into it. So just mix, mix, mix. Squeeze that butter and get it into the flour and the brown sugar. It will come into a very crumbly topping. So you just got to work the butter into that flour and get it, same with the brown sugar, get it all crumbled up together. The colder the butter, the better. You can even pop it in the freezer for a minute. This is just going to give it something extra on top of that yummy, yummy tart. You feel any big pieces of butter, run it through the flour. You want to incorporate it well. You could use a pastry cutter. I have one. I just prefer to use my fingers. You know, when I do feel like baking, it's the feel of things that are so nice. Feeling the food, the different textures, the smells. So I don't really mind, you know, getting in there and using my hands and getting the job done. So what are you guys making for like fall desserts. Do you have any requests? Do you want to see me make something? I did list in my blog some different recipes that I'm making. Let's see, I don't know if I can remember half of them. Another one is a rustic apple tart. What else? Pumpkin cheesecake swirl bars, pumpkin brownies, swirl brownies. I can't remember exactly. I have them all written down, the ones I want to try. But if you have something that maybe you didn't make last year that didn't turn out so well, send me an email with the recipe or leave me a comment and tell me where to find it, and I'll try to make it for you and work out the kinks if there are any. So this is perfect, and it's ready. It's crumbly. It's perfect for the top, and it's done. We're just going to wait on that pie to get done. Why did I say pie? We're going to wait on that tart to get done. And this is done, and let me show you. That's what you're going to get. See it? And we're just going to wait on that tart to get finished up. This is ready, and I'm going to pick up the kitchen real quick. And I'm also going to do a Tuesday tips and tricks on how to clean a cutting board. I'm going to clean this one right below me, show you the proper way to do it, the way I was trained in culinary school. In case you were wondering, I went to Sullivan University in Louisville, Kentucky, and it was a wonderful culinary school. I had a blast. All right, let's wait on the tart. Okay, so it's baked for about 25 minutes. You can see that it drizzled over a little bit right here. So it's good that it's on a cookie sheet. And it's full and it's bubbly. It smells amazing. We're going to take our crumb topping that we made. We're just going to sprinkle it right over the top. Let's get it all over it. This is the perfect amount too. For a tart, anyway. If you think you need more, get more. Or make more. Now, my grandmother's recipe has macadamia nuts in it for on the topping too. Now, I don't like nuts that much, so I am skipping that. But if you think you would like that, then you just take some chopped up macadamia nuts and add it right into the flour mixture. Right into this mixture. Yeah, alright. There we go. Okay, time to get my trusty mitts on. These are so handy. And get this back in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until the top is brown, and then it's done. We'll cool it on a wire rack, and then we will remove it from the tart pan after it's cooled. So back into the oven it goes. It remains at 425. So here it is. Look how juicy and bubbly it looks. The crust is all brown, the topping. And I'm going to get it moved over here on these wire racks so it can cool, and then I will remove it from the pan. There it is. So I'm going to let it cool here for a good 35, 45 minutes, maybe even longer. And then I will get it out and put it on a pretty plate and show you guys, you know, how you can see kind of inside of it and maybe cut a piece. Okay, so it has cooled. I'm going to move the wire racks out of the way. And here it is. So, with a tart pan, you just press from the bottom and it comes straight up. Be careful with it. Some of it's crumbling. I'm going to do it over the plate. There we go. And there is our beautiful tart. Look at that. You can see the pie around the edges. And I'm going to cut a piece. So here it is. I cut it open. You see inside? And I cut a piece. So let's try it. Here it is. Mmm. It's delicious. This won't last long in my house, that's for sure. You can really taste the pear and the raspberry. It's the perfect combination. I'm going to go finish this, and you could pop it in the microwave and serve it warm with some ice cream. Would just be perfect. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you try this tart. It's amazing, and it's so easy to make, especially if you use pre-made pie crust. If you don't have a tart pan, use something else. You can use anything. You can just use a regular pie pan and it will work fine. I'm going to go enjoy this. It's cold out and this is warm. So I'm going to snuggle up on the couch and finish this. And I'll be back really soon with some more videos. Like, subscribe, comment. Remember that you can hop over to my blog at kjaggers.com and you'll be able to print the recipe out in a print-friendly version. Just click on the link, and the link will be below or right here. And when you click on it, you'll see the print-friendly button at the bottom. Just click that, and you will have the recipe right there in your kitchen. If you do make it, I would love a video response if you want to leave one, or send me some pictures. All my email and everything is listed under the About Me and in the down bar. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.